Hi everybody, it's Kim Wilson and it's time for our October card class. So we're getting a little closer to Christmas, so we're going to start out with a Christmas card, but this technique can be used for any season and with just about any stamp set, because all we're doing is stamping in this little square and then use whatever designer series paper you have on hand to make this fun card. So the technique is called the faux shutter technique, but it's also called the fractured card technique. I've seen both ways, and it's really out there right now, very popular. And I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do it, and it depends whether you want the outside to be all one pattern of designer series paper like these two cards, or if you want to have 4 different papers like these cards here. So there's it all depends on what order you layer things on. So that's going to be important, the order of layering things. So we'll show you how to do this this one here, and this is kind of a simplified version. I just have the card base layer here. Oh, before I start, the PDFs are all up in the group here in our private group, so you can grab them there and take a quick peek there at the card measurements, just basic measurements. I did forget to put stylish shapes dies on the product list, and that's what we're using for the little diamond shape in the center there. So we're using cherry cobbler and old olive, some classic Christmas colors. The More Wishes stamp set, which kind of goes along with the Biggest Wish stamp set from the annual catalog. Some great sentiments in both large fonts and smaller. And so let's get started here. One thing I am not going to do is put my designer series paper directly onto this, because it's going to be much easier to trim off my little edges here if I build the card onto the designer paper. So I'm doing the version where you're just going to use one single card layer for the background, and so it's just a standard 4 inches by 5 1/4. And let's go ahead and get our stamping on. Since this is a dark cardstock, I have an inside layer as well. So stamping is going to be with cherry cobbler. So this fun pattern is from the Walk in the Forest designer series paper, and it's got some fun, just basic Christmas designs, and then it also has some patterns that match with the Berry Christmas bundle and the tree bundle, whatever the name of that one is. So it's been one of my favorite papers for this season. So I'm just going to do my Mary first, and I'm going to make sure I turn it diamond direction so that it is centered there. Okay, there's my Mary. Looks like it's kind of wet, so we'll let that dry for a minute. And then my inside piece, I'm going to do Christmas Wishes. And the nice thing about this stamp set is, of course, you can kind of mix and match the different fonts on your sayings here and come up with a lot of fun variations. Okay, Merry Christmas Wishes. All right, and set those stamps aside. All right, okay, I'm not going to glue this paper on first because I'm going to put my little strips. And the strips, by the way, are 1/4 inch, and I just used some scraps that I had on hand of old olive. So let's grab some adhesive, and we'll put that diamond there in the center. And then we're just going to put the 1/4 inch strips around to start going around in sections. So we'll do that one. Actually, we'll pick a long one first, because this is actually going to be the longest strip right here. So the longest scrap in my my Mary keeps shifting. So let me grab a block here, and I'm kind of going to push it down a little bit and make sure that stays steady while I put my strips around. So add some little bits of glue to the back of that and just start right at the edge, and it's just going to butt right up against that square right there and go off the edge. And then the same way with the other strips. So we'll just keep adding them on here. And I should be working on top of my silicone mat so I don't get glue all over my surface here. That would have been smart. And then this one, maybe I can kind of estimate how much glue I need here. Just go around all the corners. So easy to do this technique, but it's so attractive and fun, and you can do it in so many different patterns and occasions, so stay there. Okay, it is done. Now I just need to trim off the edges, and I like to just flip my piece over when I'm trimming, grab my paper snips here, and then I can just do it nice and straight and get those trimmed up nicely. There, and now I can put my piece onto the card base, and it's all done. Yay! Now, if you wanted to add an extra layer in there, a lot of people do. Let's see one of these cards. Yeah, this card here, I added an extra layer in there, and then just make your designer series paper 1/4 inch less on each side. And now, just tip, if you are going to use 4 different papers, like these other cards do, then what you're going to do is a slightly different order of layering. So you're going to grab your 4 inch by 5 1/4 inch piece as a scrap piece, because you're going to first do your square and your strips onto a scrap piece, and then you're going to take your designer series paper pieces. Well, I don't have any handy here, but after your square and your strips are on the scrap piece, which is going to be totally hidden, then you can take your different designer series papers and then just abut them in like that in the 4 corners. This works great if you have like a 6 by 6 or small pieces. And then do the same thing I did before. Turn it upside down and trim off those extra little bits so that they don't hang off before you put that down onto your card base. So very, very similar, just a little bit different order in how you put those down. So there we go. There's our Mary. Oh, we do need to put our Christmas wishes on the inside. And if you have one of the Christmas stamp sets with holly or branches or little trees or something, that would be cute to decorate this up a little bit more too. Okay, so that is the faux shutter or fractured card technique, and I'll be back in a second with our next project.